Hey guys, I know I haven't posted in a long time, but I don't want to ramble too much. I just want to get into this. This video is insane. Like if you can really keep up with it. And yeah, let's just get into the prerequisites. The catalyst for this whole thing is going to have to do with something that happened at work. So for one, we're right now as I'm talking this, it's the 26th of February, but this whole thing has to do with the 25th of February. And we'll start with this here, this South Korean bridge collapse. And these two dates are both going to be important because it was when it happened. It was reported as 225, 225, so 225, 225, but here it was nighttime on 224, but this is the day that's going to be the most emphasized, the 225, 225. But yeah, the fact that it with the time zone and it was technically both these days, it's going to be important, so keep that in mind. Because okay, here's why. So 225, 225, so it happened to be my mom's 57th birthday, which is really crazy because Rose equals 57 and 225. So Rose, like the Venus Rose. Okay, so this is the pathway of Venus from the perspective of Earth. We'll go over it a little bit more just to review, but I just want to get to the prerequisites. And these are the two planets that are going to carry this whole thing, Venus and Mercury. Keep that in mind. And then I'm going to talk about this, well, for two reasons, because the information itself, like the synchronicity itself, I'm going to explain how this all relates, and it's insane. And the fact that I posted it yesterday on the 24th, or 2 days ago, but yeah, like I haven't posted in a long time, and then like I ended up posting this video, and I think, yeah, I don't know, I could just tell like God just put it on my heart to do it because of what I'm going to share. So keep this in mind. We'll break it down more in a little bit. And then this is going to be a huge prerequisite, the Revelation 12 sign, and from 7:1 that he discovered in this video. He shows that this is, well, this is this. That's not a secret or anything like that. And if you haven't heard, or if you're not familiar with this thing that this whole topic that 7:1 has talked about, this picture is depicting this verse, and he found that this is actually an astrological alignment that happened on 6/3/1769. So it's a Venus transit followed by a total solar eclipse. So since these are cyclical, yeah, I mean, let me show you the Wikipedia page for it real quick. Yeah, so if you want to look more into this exact Venus transit, you can find it here. So yeah, this is the true Revelation 12 sign, and yeah, so Venus again, and so you see Revelation 12:1. So the next verse, Revelation 12:2, you see that it's the same woman, and she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pained to be delivered. And pained to be delivered. Sorry, it's really late. So Super Bowl 57. All right, remember, keep in mind. I'm talking about my mom's 57th birthday. My mother. And Rihanna performed at the halftime show, and she was pregnant. So there's this huge mother thing, and I think it was totally about this. Like, There's no doubt about it. When you see the end of this, you won't be able to deny it either. I guarantee you. All right, so let's talk about Venus. Let's talk about this 13 to 8 ratio. This is the ratio that creates this in the sky. This is the pathway of Venus from the perspective of Earth, and it creates a rose. And this is based on the orbital ratios of 13 Venus orbits to 8 Earth orbits. That's how this is formed. All right. So rose is a symbol of Venus because of the pathway of the planet, and the rose is connected to this 138. All right, and we're gonna look at Mercury now and the characteristics of Mercury. So these are both slightly different, but they're both really important. So let's read them both. This is the description of the Roman god Mercury, and he's god of trade, commerce, financial gain, messages, communication, travelers and boundaries, trickery, merchants and thieves. And the description here says god of shopkeepers and merchants, travelers and transporters of goods, and thieves and tricksters. Pretty much the same, but so you understand the characteristics of the Roman god Mercury. So this is like the catalyst right here. Okay, so when after this happened to me, this all, like, everything just opened up. Like it was so weird the way that this, like, just opened up, because I haven't really been wanting to decode in a while. I've been trying to really get my head on straight, but like I know that these things just come to me, and like these events, I just know that they're meant to be. Like, they're gonna happen no matter what, and they're all just orchestrated perfectly with the events happening in the world. So what happened at my job was that, well, for one, I'm on a temporary contract, and on the 25th to 25, my manager, she informed me that I was not going to be, my contract was not going to be extended with the company. So pretty much giving me a heads up that I'll need to be finding a new job. But I do have time to find one. It's just the day that I was given that news was just so perfectly timed by God, which is crazy. I'm gonna show how. So keep in mind, okay, so these 3 points. So the contract ending, all right, think about like the end of the road, you know. Second point, okay, so my manager, her name is Rose, and she's Korean. And the third thing is that my position, I process sales orders, and I help with logistics. So I help set up the transportation of the products we sell. So I help. I let the customer know, and I help with setting up freight appointments, and yeah. So I literally help with the transporting of goods, like how we read Mercury. So yeah, like transporters of goods. Okay, so this is already a lot. Like, so then so after that happened to me, I was like, I don't know, I was just kind of like, I don't know what made me think, but I knew that I remember in the morning I had read that this bridge collapse happened in South Korea, and then it all hit me. I was like, wait, hold on. Like, it's like, it all fits like perfect, you know, the end of the road contract. It's like my contract ending, like, you know, end of the road with the company. Like, the fact that it was in South Korea on 225, Rose equals 225, and my manager's name is Rose. That's like, I'm speechless just trying to like explain it to you guys. And the fact that was my mom's 57th birthday, the same day, and rose equals 57 as well. And this has to do with transporting goods, the bridge, and my position that I will, I got the bad news about was for logistics, like transporting goods. So like everything just, just those, like with those two things right there, I was just blown away, and I was like, I shouldn't have even looked more into it, because that's all I really needed to be like mind blown. But I got tempted, and like that's really nothing compared to the rest that I have to show you. But like it's gonna show that it's just so perfect, the way that God has set up my life, and the people, like just the events in my life, and then my mom, like with her turning 57 on 225 is, I mean, you're gonna see. So let's just keep going. Well, okay, let's go back to my my job first. So like I've had this huge Venus connection with my job since I started, because the day that I started was 6/3/2024, and this was the 255th anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign. 255th anniversary, and rose equals 255, like the Venus rose, and bridge also equals 255. So it's wild that if it wasn't for this day being the 255th anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign, I wouldn't even cared that bridge equals 255. But it's like, it shows that it's all been in the works. And just for me to get the news on 225, you know what I mean, 225, that I was gonna get the news on that day that my contract would be ending, which, I started the job on the 255th anniversary of the Revelation. Like, I think you guys can see why, like, this is all just so insane to me. And now we're gonna talk about this synchronicity that I had, how this relates to what happened, because I posted this the day before the 25th, and before I posted this, I hadn't posted in a long time, but it was just on my heart, and I didn't even know about the synchronicity that I'm about to share before this day. That's why I posted the video. So I think, like, again, it was put on my heart, and I was like, and then when let's just go over the information. And then on this day, this is the Cybertruck explosion that happened on the 1st of January 25, so New Year's Day, and the Cybertruck exploded in front of the Trump Hotel in Vegas. So let's just look at it all. Okay, so this happened to be my 138th Mercury birthday on this day. My 138th Mercury birthday. And it was right next to the Trump Hotel, and Donald Trump equals 138. And Rose of Venus equals 138, which is that's a legit phrase. Okay, I didn't just force that just to get the number. That's a way that it is referred to. So that in itself, I noticed that, and I made the video because I was like, dude, that's insane that like whenever, like, for it to be my Mercury birthday, like exact Mercury birthday. So looking at the characteristics of Mercury in this event, so it was Las Vegas, like commerce and wealth, mainly the wealth thing, like so it was in Las Vegas, wealth, Cybertruck, transportation, right? Mercury is the god of transportation. And then Trump is known, he's one of the huge things right now about him is the tariffs. So that has to do with trade. Like Mercury is the god of trade, and Trump is he's a Gemini ruled by Mercury. So this was like the fact that this happened on my Mercury birthday, just in general, with all these events lining up like that, is absolutely mind blowing. So the fact that it was my 138th, just there's no words for me to really describe it. Like, I don't know. Like, it's unreal. Like, it's unreal. You know, like, how can my life line up so perfectly like this without God? I know who's gonna be saying that it's just a supercomputer, but I don't know. I don't know how you can still think it after all this. Okay, so I was thinking about this. So again, this is the Revelation 12 sign. So I put it 6-3 to 6-4 of 1769 because on 6-3, that's when the Venus transit happened, and it was followed by the total solar eclipse on 6-4. So it was these 2 days made up this whole thing here. And I was thinking about the 225th anniversary of this event, which was June 3rd, 1994. Okay, because again, remember, rose equals 225. This is about Venus rose. So I'm gonna show you how this is just so legit. Like, this alignment, like the way that this has been connecting to things like today, right now. It's let me just show you. Okay, so the 225th anniversary of the sign. When you go from the 200, dang it. Okay, sorry, I put the 255th. I'm gonna fix it right now. There we go. Okay, so from the 225th anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign to, and again, rose equals 225, and this whole thing we're talking about, the day of the bridge collapse, 225. So from the 225th anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign to 225 is 11225 days, which matches the date of my 138th Mercury birthday. 11225. Like, do you guys, so please tell me you guys see this, please. Like, that is so crazy. That is so crazy. Like, just this date by itself is, just 225 with it being rose. It happens to be my mom's 57th birthday, and then I happen to get the news from my manager named Rose that I was, my contract was going to be ending at my job the day of the Korean bridge collapse, and she's Korean. Everything I already showed you how that bridge collapse ties to my job, and like, it's the perfect sequence. 11225. That's the date of this explosion, which was my 138th Mercury birthday, which with all like this perfect, all this stuff, Las Vegas, wealth, how this all connects to Mercury, Las Vegas, wealth, Cybertruck, transportation, tariffs, Trump, tariffs, trade. He's a Gemini ruled by Mercury. It's freaking beautiful. This is beautiful. Okay, this is God. It's not men with black robes and like supercomputers, all that. No. Like, I don't understand how people still think that. Like, it's insane. And there's more to say too. Like, there's so much I didn't even add, like, because I wanted to talk about, like, the fire, and Venus like is connected to fire because of the that song, like, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, and stuff like that. Like, there's so many. Cody's done a lot of work on, like, how Venus is connected to fire, but I just have way too much to talk about still, so let's just go. All right, now look at this. Okay, rows. Okay, so rows equals 57 and 225, and again, 225, 225. My mom's 57th birthday. So, this is so perfectly timed, like this, like the way that the calendar is all set up. Is so perfect because, you know, from 5700. Okay, so yeah, 5700 on the calendar to 225. It is 103 Mercury years. From 5700 to 225 is 103 Mercury years, and Mercury equals 103. That is so perfect. Like, after everything else that I showed you, like, this date is crazy. This date is crazy. And considering everything that happened on this day that I already showed, and, you know, with my mom, and so from 5700 to my mom's 57th birthday, like, it's just exactly 103 Mercury years. But not only that, so the same span, okay, the same span, it's also 24 years and 42 weeks on the nose. So 2442 on the nose, no extra days. And Venus rose equals 2442 in squares. Okay, so how the heck is this all happening? Like, with my job, my mom, the bridge, like, the planets, like, the Bible, like, it's oh my god, I don't even know what to say. I really do not know what to say. It's just, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like, just to reemphasize, from 5700 to my mom's 57th birthday, it's 24 years, 42 weeks on the nose, and Venus rose equals 2442. Okay, so if you don't understand that, like, you really need to, like, go back and start from the beginning, because there is no way that this is confusing. There's no there like if I mean I can see it being confusing if you are not, like, one of the people that are pretty much already in our community who have these, like, this, like, baseline knowledge. Like, we've been talking about the same stuff for the better half of last year, and you should also be familiar with the techniques that I use, because they are outside the box. I know you're not going to find it on Zach's channel or, like, most of the channels, but, like, I think the people in my community know how I decode, and like, for instance, like this, like, some people might be like, why did you do this? Like, what day is that? It's like, because rose equals 5. So it's because in numerology, the zeros don't count. So rose equals 57. We're talking about my mom's 57th birthday. And then the day that my manager, Rose, like, let me go, or told me that I was, you know, my contract was going to be ending. So this is a technique, like, I don't want to ramble too much, but yeah, like, this is a technique, like, people really got to look into more. Like, this, like, using this year with where the year is 00, and then there's a lot of, like, I know for sure that a lot of the things that we are trying to uncover, like, has to do with, it goes back to this technique here. Okay, so just look into it. Now, I just showed you that from 5700 to 225 is 103 Mercury years. So now we're going to look at how old I was on that day, and I was exactly 103 months, and Mercury equals 103. So it could not be more perfect. It cannot be more perfect. From my birth to 5700, 103 months, and then exactly, and then 103 Mercury years after that lands on 225, my mom's 57th birthday. Then everything else I've been talking about, you know, all the things relating to Venus, to Mercury, and then the thing that the synchronicity, this my 138th Mercury birthday, this Cybertruck explosion in front of Trump Tower, like it's, dude, it's so perfect. Like this is one of the craziest videos I have ever made in my entire life, ever. And the fact that like I promise I have not been decoding. People might be able to tell, like, I've been doing it a little bit, but not as much as before, where I was like, oh, I need to decode this event and that event. I've actually been trying really hard not to, just so I can, like, I don't know, like, get my priorities in order, because they've been kind of all over the place. And I've been doing it out of like impulse and like low-key addiction. But it's I guess because of that, it's helped me to find the absolute craziest connection I have ever found in my entire life, based on just one little event happening with my job, and me, getting the news that my contract was going to be ending. Like, it's unbelievable. So, and it gets more unbelievable. Okay, so this same span, okay, so from my birth to 5700, where rho is equals 57 and all that, 103 months, Mercury equals 107 or 103, but this equals to 8 years and 7 months, and that's on the nose, so there's no days or weeks, so it's 8 years, again, 8 years and 7 months. I was 8 years 7 months on 5700, and when you look at the element of Mercury, it's Hg, the I forget what this is called, but the Hg, the 8th letter and the 7th letter. Like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. You gotta be freaking kidding me. That's the same span, 103 months. So that's just in general, like, for any, just basically 103 months is 8 years and 7 months. Okay, so that's just a general connection with, the calendar, with Mercury being 103, and the element of Mercury is Hg. But the fact that lined up for me perfectly on 5-7 and everything I've been talking about with, I'm telling you, it's this huge, like, connection with Venus and Rose and my life, or Venus and Mercury, that I noticed since, the my 138th Mercury birthday, because I was both Venus and Mercury together. Then all this just opened up. All this just opened up just because of the thing that happened at my job. And then I noticed that it was the day of the bridge collapse, and then I was like, oh my god, like, I had no idea all of this was, like, I never knew any of this stuff about my life. So I know that God has a purpose for, for what just happened, and, like, I know it does. Like, that's why it's been hard for me to be, it's been hard, like, I was pretty discouraged at first, but after I started, like, piecing all this together, I was like, oh my god, like, it was so hard for me to still be frustrated, because I was like, this is, like, it's all part of God's plan, and I don't know what he has planned for me after this, but it's, like, it's supposed to happen. Like, it was gonna happen. I could not avoid it. And I'm sorry, I don't think I have free will. I don't know if that is how it is for everybody. I don't know if maybe there's, like, a few chosen of us that, like, I don't want to get into it. I really don't think that I have free will. I'm sorry. But Now, let's just move on. All right, so we're looking at this the same span. So we're looking at the same span. And I haven't talked about my dad yet, but you hopefully should know that my whole channel has been dedicated to my dad and the connections that like me and him have had to all these events going on. So my dad, if you don't know, he died from lung cancer. Okay, so I found it really interesting that, you know, this same thing that has so much to do with my with my mom, because remember, you know, this is about her 57th birthday. The same span is 448 weeks on the nose, okay, and lung cancer equals 448. And my dad died from lung cancer, like I said. So I'm gonna get into how much more relevant that is to what happened with the bridge collapse. Sounds like really random, but I'll explain it. Okay, now we're going to talk about Super Bowl 57. Oh, okay, so we're gonna talk about my dad still, how he is part of this whole Venus thing, whole Venus, you know, so that's why it's perfect with the 5-7, right? So because on Super Bowl 57 with Rihanna, mother, she being with child, travailing in birth. So my dad, so the Super Bowl happened exactly 25 weeks after my dad died from lung cancer. So this is the day that my dad died. The Super Bowl 57, this was exactly 25 weeks after he died. So if you don't know what that is a reference to the magic square of Venus. And what that is this it's this square. Most of the planets have one. Venus is a 7x7 grid, and it's all the numbers between 1 and 49 consecutively. And when you add all the numbers 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 all the way to 49, it adds up to 1225. So 1225 is a Venus number, and it's just amazing that with all the things that I already showed, that how this connected to Venus, it happened to be 1225 weeks after my dad died from lung cancer, and from on 5700 I was 448 weeks exactly. Might be a span, might be, but no, I think that's exact. But yeah, I mean, just come on, like what the heck, like it's, you guys, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. And just Rihanna herself, like people have connected her to Venus. Like I can't even get into it, but I think if you're a truther, I'm pretty sure you have seen people connect Rihanna to Venus, especially Rambo. Okay, so the score of this game, it was 35-38. That was the score of Super Bowl 57. Okay, and what I did, I turned this into this date, 3/5/38, in the future. So from 2/5/225, my mom's 57th birthday, and all the stuff that I already shared with the bridge, like all that. So from this date to this date that matches the score of Super Bowl 57 is 13 years and 8 days. Like the rows of Venus equals 138. Like the Venus to Earth 13:8 ratio, that makes the rows. Like how that event happened on my 138th Mercury birthday. All the connections that I had with Mercury to 5-7. Like you guys gotta see, like this is literally this video, I kid you not, can break the matrix. Like, I swear. Like, and I was telling Cody about this today. Like, I feel like our findings are gonna. I think the the world, like the collective consciousness, can't even say that word, but I think it seriously is collectively waking up more and more, and like our findings are gonna get crazier and crazier. Like this year, I think our all of our findings are gonna be crazier. Like, and I do think that we are getting closer to breaking the matrix, because like everything I'm finding right now, it's like unfreaking deniable. Like with the Bible, the planets, the Super Bowls, my life, my job, my mom, everything. Like, it's insane, dude. Like, it's so insane. Let's just go over this one more time. From 225 to 3538, which is matches the score of Super Bowl 57. Rose equals 57. This was my mom's 57th birthday. It's 13 years and 8 days. Like, it's unbelievable. Rose of Venus, like the Venus to Earth ratio, 13 orbits to 8 orbits. It's so crazy. I don't even know what to say. Whew. All right, so what I did here, so I was looking at this whole thing with the rose and 57 and 225, and then I was like thinking about this date here, so 57225, which will be coming up in a few months. So I checked how old I was gonna be on that day, 57225, and I'm gonna be exactly 403 months old. And mother equals 403, just like all the stuff with the woman of woman of the apocalypse, giving birth, Super Bowl 57, Rihanna being pregnant, all this having to do with like my mom's 57th birthday. That's so crazy. Oh my god. Like, I know in my other videos I was like angry and like frustrated. Like right now I'm like, oh god, I'm just so amazed. I'm amazed. This is like, I've never seen anything like any of this, and I'm I know that I know God's there. I know this is God. It's not a supercomputer. Sorry, guys. Alright, and then let's take this slow. So, again, Revelation 12:1, Revelation 12 sign. So, I wanted to check this as a date, so 1/2/1, January 2nd, 01. So from 1/2/1 to 2/25/225 is 1,260 weeks on the nose, and Venus rose equals 1260 in Latin. It's so crazy. I don't even know. I can't even. I've unlocked something so crazy. Like, oh my god, I can't even believe it. Like, if it wasn't for my mom's 57th birthday, like, I would not have, like, none of this could have worked. Like, it could not have. I wouldn't have looked at any of it. Like, I wouldn't have thought anything about this day other than the fact that I got, the bad news from my job. But like, and then let me just finish. So Sean Desaad, widow's son, which obviously that's me, and that does have to do with both, my mom and my dad, because my mom became a widow when my dad died, and that's, I'm the widow's son, and that equals 1260 as well in Sumerian. So it's just like, this is solved. Like, I'm literally like, this is solved. Like, I'm breaking the matrix right now. I'm breaking the matrix as we speak. All right, so I remember keep in mind that what I mentioned with my dad and lung cancer. He died from lung cancer. So yeah. So let's take this slow. Starting with here. You remember I told you bridge equals 255. All right. So going from the 255th anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign, which again, this is the day I started the job. And like I said, that's why the 24th and the 25th were both important, because it was, at least for us, it was the 24th, but then the 25th in Korea. So either 266 days, or 267 days, and that connects to the popes, because right now Pope Francis is currently the 266th pope, and he's in the hospital right now. And the next, so I'm not sure, I'm not saying anything, but regardless, the next pope will be the 267th pope. Okay, and I forgot to make a slide for it, but this further, this 267 has to do, well, both of them have to do with the Golden Gate in the sky. And then because that's the ecliptic of where the Golden Gate is located, and then that takes you back to the Golden Gate Bridge, some more bridge stuff. Like, it's all like perfectly, like, this is all solved, like it's all solved, it is. And then, like I mentioned, how this has to do with Pope, Pope has to do with bridges too, because pontiff, bridge comes from pontiff, and pontiff comes from bridge. Pontiff, bridge, pope, pontiff, that, like, it's just, I don't even know what to freaking say. And there's even more, like, there's so many things I have to leave out too, because even like with all the Venus stuff, and Pope Francis equals 175, and 175 is a Venus number. Like, there's so many things I have to, like, I can't even fit in here. But this is like, oh my god, like I'm in awe, dude. I am in awe. Okay, so I think we're almost done. Yeah, okay, so remember I mentioned the whole thing with my dad and lung cancer. So it's interesting that all this is happening with Pope Francis. He initially went to the hospital because he had double pneumonia. That's what they called it, double pneumonia. Okay, so pneumonia with the lungs. And think about double, like double, twins, Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And medical astrology. So I learned this medical astrology from 7-1 and Casey Jones. And Mercury is connected to the lungs. Okay, so each planet is associated with a part of the body, and Mercury is the lungs. So with all this stuff going on, it's insane. And there's been all these Mercury events happening with the plane crashes and cars and all that stuff. And like, I haven't even been able to talk about any of that stuff. I'm pretty sure like all this is, there hasn't been anything like I'm just sharing pretty much like fresh information. I haven't seen anything about what I've shared in this video, but yeah, there's just been so much. Like, there's so much. So considering all that Mercury, the Mercury decodes that other people have done, and now like seeing how much is connecting to like my life and the craziest freaking ways with like these other events and everything lining up just so perfectly, like absolutely perfectly. And not to mention, he went to the hospital on Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day has to do with love and the heart, and Venus is about love. So there's so many things, like it's just, I can't even keep up. So okay, I'm almost done. And okay, so yeah, on this day, on 225, so the Lakers played the Mavericks, and the score was 107-99. All right, and so I'm not gonna lie, I was experimental with this, and I was just wondering, because I had already used this date, the rose 57225, and I showed you that I was gonna be 403 months on that day, and mother equals 403. But when this ended up being the final score, I was really curious about it because it looked like a date to me, and I did my conversion that I do with the. I do this with scores a lot actually, and it's pretty rare to see it, but I'm telling you, you guys gotta start doing it. I'm not joking. So from this date, 10/7/99, happened to be my 8th birthday, but it's not important. So 10/7/99 to 5/7/225, like this. And remember, this is on my mom's 57th birthday. The day of this game, and then on this day I'll be 403 months, and mother equals 403. Like, it's just so from here to here, it's 307 months exactly on the nose, and woman of the apocalypse equals 307 in reverse. And this is the Revelation 12 sign is referred to as the woman of the apocalypse. Like, that's a given. So this is the same thing we've been looking at. Okay, this is just a different depiction of it, but it's the same thing. The woman with this, like here she's with her baby, full on mother, and there's the same the eclipse, the moon at her feet. Oops. But it's so insane. Like, it is so insane. Like, the score, like, I've proved that the score of the game of that day matches it. I don't even know the word for it. I don't know the word for it. It's just, it's not an accident. This is solved. Women of the apocalypse, like, perfect. 307 months on the nose. And I've taught, like, people who have been really keeping up with me, especially since June, probably know that 307 is a huge number for me with my dad. I don't want to add too much right now, but it's just more relevant to this whole thing because it has to do with Lodge 49, the show about me and all that. But in 49, and then Luka Doncic was this. I think he was the MVP of the game, and he is number 77, and the magic square of Venus is a 7x7 grid. It's just this was so crazy. Like, putting this all together, I'm just like blown away. I'm absolutely blown away. Okay, so last thing. This is the last thing. What is it? Okay. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So, woman of the apocalypse, or the woman clothed with the sun. So, the woman clothed with the sun is another. It's just a given other, term for everything we've been talking about with this Venus transit. But the woman clothed with the sun equals 1188. So, from 5700, that same really important date we were looking at this, like, earlier in this video, but showing how crazy I have the Mercury connections I had to this. So from 5700 to Super Bowl 57 is 1188 weeks. So, and women clothed with the sun. So that just absolutely proves 100% Super Bowl 57. Like I said, rose equals 57. Venus rose. It is solved. It is solved. It is solved. Okay. And I have not. It's just crazy because, like, it's easy to not really think about the past Super Bowls anymore. Like, but I accidentally found this. Like, I was just following one piece at a time, and then it ended up, like, because I remember how the 57, I knew that was so significant to all this stuff because of, like, my mom's 57th birthday, and then I was like, oh, I remember Super Bowl 57, and then the whole thing with Rihanna, and then the floodgates open, like the floodgates completely open. And that's the end of all this. But there's a few little more things I just want to add on. So I was putting this presentation that I shared. I was putting it together yesterday, and it was really interesting that this unfortunate passing happened. I think you guys are aware of it. Michelle Trachtenberg. I'm sorry, but I saw a lot of her movies, and it's unfortunate news, but it is interesting because she passed away at age 39. And after all the stuff that I was sharing, everything that I had found, Venus rose equals 39. And I think this was her first movie was with Rosie O'Donnell, Harriet the Spy. So there's a lot more. I'm not gonna get too much into it. I think I'm gonna try to share. I'm pretty sure Cody's gonna have like a crazy video about it. I think some people have already shared some crazy decodes on it. But yeah, I just thought it was really, really interesting, and that I was making all this stuff about Venus and how it all everything just about what I shared just in general, how that happened the day before, and I was putting that all together, and then unfortunately this news, age 39, like, dude, why is this page being so annoying? Okay, oh my god, see, okay, 39, thank you, jeez. Okay, so she passed away age 39, Venus rose equals 39, everything I just shared. And then her first movie was with Rosie O'Donnell. It's weird. It's really weird. I don't know. Like, it's sad. It's really sad. But I think that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. If you watched the whole way through. And yeah, hopefully you guys can see where I'm coming from, because this stuff is just insane. And I'm like, that's why, like I said, it's hard for me to be frustrated about, or sad, or down about, I guess, what's going on with my job, because I'm like, just seeing how, not only like seeing how perfectly it was all lined up with all this stuff, but how I was given the privilege and honor to find it all, thanks to God. Like, I just know that God he's letting me know that he has a plan for me and all this, and that's why I'm not worried, and I trust him a lot. But yeah, that's it. So thank you guys. Hopefully I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.